It's safe to say in League One this year, there have been three standout sides. Ourselves, Reading, QPR. Three teams separated by 5 points. And today, with 3 games left of the season, we're back to finish the season. Should probably know at this point, our last game of the year, it's against QPR. Yeah, today's a big one. Yes, folks, how is it going? Welcome back to Part 2 Prem. Today is episode number 52. If you've not been watching the series in a little while and you've come back for this one today, my, you've come back at a good time. Since last episode, just 2 games played. We'll rattle through those quickly. Firstly, a win against Sheffield Wednesday. 3-0 result. This was bloody-tastic. Flam-tastic. Not fantastic, flam, for what it's worth. The next game, less flam. That game was this one against Wigan Athletic. 0-0 after an hour played. I went more attacking. It backfired spectacularly as well. Keeley had a clanger. That made it 1-0. They would grab a second in this game. Wigan just 3 shots on goal. They played with 3 centre-backs, 2 wing-backs, 2 defensive mids. They parked the bus and they caught us out twice with crosses. Yeah, this result was a disappointing one. I did opt to rotate the team a little bit for this one, knowing it was a more winnable game because the next few games are going to be difficult. Beginning to wish I hadn't rotated it quite as much as I did. I say I rotated it. I mean, you can see here, there was nothing too extreme going on, and Jude got a 5.9. The real game where I needed him to show up, and he was AWOL. Just as a reminder, he's on £4,500 a week. So that defeat against Wigan did put a halt to a 5-game winning run that we were on. What it meant was that QPR could close the gap on us slightly, and our 3 games down the year, well, you know, QPR's the last game, but the other 2 games, Salford and Bolton in 6th and 7th. If I was a betting man, I'd currently be betting on Reading and QPR to be the teams that go up. Not to sound defeatist, but they are the best 2 teams in this division on paper and financially. I know QPR have a negative bank balance of £10 million. When you look at their squad, when you look at the values of their players and their wages that they're on, their top earner on £55,000 a week, and you compare it to ourselves with a total club wage spend of £47,000, really makes you realise how much of an overachievement this year has been. It certainly wouldn't be disastrous to end up in the playoffs, but ultimately, automatic promotion would be a nice, calm way to do things. The first game we've got is against Bolton. Before we get into that game, I do just want to talk about the finances a little bit. You might have caught it on this screen here. We're down to £4 million in the bank. We are still hemorrhaging money, an alarming rate. If you've not been following my little financial discussions during videos, we're losing about £500,000 a month. And to be honest, the bulk of that, if we just look at expenditure for this year, is on the youth setup. We've actually spent twice as much on the youth setup as we have the club wages. So as amazing as the 5-star youth recruitment is, it does come with some problems which we are facing. Getting into the Championship would alleviate those concerns because there is a big bump up in terms of TV revenue and just general cash available at that level. If we're stuck in League One for another year, we could be in a position where this summer we have to sell some players to keep ourselves afloat. And whilst the likes of Jaime Guerrero have a load of interest in them, 20 clubs interested in him, I don't want to sell my best players. I don't want to sell players I'm attached to. So yeah, today's big. So our first game today is against Bolton Wanderers. They were right up there towards the top of the table once upon a time. 1 win in their last 5. Their media prediction was 18th. They've massively overperformed that to be battling for the playoffs. So they're going to want to turn things around here. The 1 win they've got recently was against AFC Wimbledon, another team who are right up there in the playoffs once upon a time and have dropped off. It is really interesting how behind the top 3 teams in the league, the scrap for the playoffs really has seen teams jiggle around, it feels like, over the course of the year. I'm somewhat glad we've been able to avoid looking over our shoulders. Of course, we could still be rubbing shoulders with them should we finish 3rd. That's not going to happen, though, because we're about to beat Bolton, I hope. Now, another thing to note is that these 3 games we've got coming up today happen in the space of 8 days. The schedule is rather intense on our players. It was the reason why I decided I'd try and rotate things a little bit against Wigan. That didn't work out for us, but I'm going to hope with our fresh players in this game here, we can put in a slightly better performance. In terms of the 11 going into this game, a little bit of injury news, I suppose. Andreni got injured recently. Toby Hines, the only real kind of regular first-team player who's picked up an injury, a player who, of course, joined us for a club record fee. For £550,000, he's not been fireworks, has he? He's not been blockbuster, but you know what? We're going to show some faith. He's only just turned 19. He's still a child. In terms of the starting 11, nothing too crazy going on here. Keeley, I'm going to hope, has remembered how to catch a football after his disastrous performance against Wigan. In the defence, if I was going to throw any one player under the bus, it would be Mkize. This guy has not really lived up to expectations this year. 7.06 rating in his games that he played last year for us. This season, 6.88. If there was a time to step up, Matthew, it'd be today. I will issue my condolences and apologies to the away day fans. No away days today. Today is all about the Football Manager action. I can't afford distractions. We need to go up. Or, we do the playoffs tomorrow. I really don't want to have to do the playoffs tomorrow. That's what it boils down to. Okay, 5 minutes into this game, Bolton with pressure on their shoulders as well to really step up their performances in pursuit of a playoff spot. They are looking to move the ball around the back early on here. Ball is going to be played, lumped forward, and Mkize wins a nice header. Guerrero doesn't get to the second ball though, and now it's Reed bringing it forward for Bolton. Ricky D, what a tackle that is. And João Victor, well, he's seen Ferrarinson. The defender hasn't seen the ball there. It's fallen to Ferrarinson. We won't question it. Can he get the ball in? He can, oh my word. It's cleared off the line after an almost own goal opportunity there. Bolton on the back foot early on. Ngoma, you beautiful man, wonderful left foot, whips it in. Mkize, it's his first goal of the season. I have manifested that. That is the power of the reverse curse of the commentator. Love the fact that we have players like Ngoma who are with us down in the Vanarama National North, still spearheading our midfield, still providing this insane creative outlet. Great ball into the box by him there. We score. That lowers the pressure just a little bit. An early goal, settle the nerves. A second goal, and we will be chilling. Soonsut Bell played in behind from the set piece. Plays it inside, and Ngoma goes down in a heap. Ferrarinson, Timmy finds the back of the net. That was very, very fortunate, but we will not complain. I thought there might have been a penalty shout in the build-up of all of that. But in the end, the whistle didn't go. We didn't play. Well, no, sorry. We did play to the whistle. Didn't look like Bolton played to the whistle. It was like they thought the penalty was going to be given. Jude plays inside, and Ngoma, get him with Tom Daly, doing the synchronised diving thing in the Olympics. It's a lovely goal there by Timmy. We will take that. Has to be said, halfway through this first half, we've not actually created a massive amount. We've only had 3 shots on target, but 2 of them have found the back of the net. Finishing has been a big difference for us, I think, in games that we either do well in or that we struggle in. We never really fail to create a load. It's just a case of, can we put the ball in the net? Today, we're very much putting the ball in the back of the net. Guerrero makes it 3. After the defeat against Wigan, a little bit of pressure coming into this game. You don't want to go 2 games without a win, especially at this critical point in the year. We're doing what we have to. If we win all our games to end the year, we are guaranteed a promotion spot. We just have to do that. I don't want to be greedy and say, I want 4. Ngoma, I'd really like 4, mate. He puts it in. It's half-headed away. Gasperi, Guerrero could shoot, does shoot, scores. Goal number 19 for him. He's in the running for League One Player of the Year. You can kind of see why. We are 4-0 up in our game. Elsewhere, Reading took an early lead against Barnsley. Still 1-0 there. QPR 0-0. As things stand, we'd go 4 points clear of them in second. If there was a time to have one of those matches where you just outperform your XG, this was the time to have it, wasn't it? We are 4-0 up with an XG of less than 2. This is what we needed. This is what we want to see. Mkize, could we get a 5th before half-time? Think I might be getting a little bit greedy, but Ferrarinson, what can you do? He is going to get forward. He puts his foot down on the pedal. He accelerates forward. He gives it to Ngoma. It's 5. I don't want to sound too complacent here, as there's still 40 seconds left of the half and another highlight begins. I think we're going to win this game. I think our goal difference, which is already the best of the 3 teams at the top, might be about to get bolstered a little bit. Ngoma, he's almost made it 6 there. There is part of me that almost feels bad for the Bolton fans. It's 5-0 at the break. I hate to say it. It's game over, innit, for them. I hate to say it for them. I love to say it for us. But I would want a 6th, wouldn't I? Ricky D, can you put the ball in, my friend? He's going to make his man sit down on the ground. Ricky D plays it inside. It goes across the ground. It's half cleared away. Gasperi keeps it alive. João Victor, Morgan now on the left-hand side. A player who's crept in with lots of assists lately. He's going to add another one there. And Ngoma's got a goal. 7th of his season for him. I do feel like Ngoma's not got as many goals as you maybe expect him to get this year. Still a very good player from a creative point of view, but good to see him get into the box twice in this game and score twice here. I am realising we've got this game, midweek coming up. Probably should just rest all the good players, shouldn't I? I know that Ngoma and Guerrero are on for hat-tricks, but honestly, There is no point in having them on the pitch in this game. I might as well protect our best players. Ricky D, you can have a break as well. I'm making 4 subs in the 56th minute. We are 6-0 up. I think it's going to be fine. Can we get 7? Jean Victor dinks it. Jude could finish it here. Goes wide. Options in the middle. Timmy is one of them. Timmy has scored another. It's 7. I feel bad. I almost feel guilty. I say that looking at the clock thinking that there's 20 minutes left here. We could get some more. We want 10. Admittedly, maybe 10 goals would be a little bit greedy to expect. There's 5 minutes left of the game. Since I've got greedy, nothing has happened. 3 minutes of added time at the end of this game. Still 7-0. That is game, set and match. This game was done for a long, long time. Bolton with 1 shot on target for a .02 XG. Yeah, one of the most one-sided games of football I think I've seen. Shout out to Ryan Morgan, man of the match. We had 3 players score 2 goals. This guy got 2 assists and he ended up with the highest rating. They call him the Ricky D of the left. Well, that's what I call him at least. That is a great result for us there. Reading have actually drawn, so suddenly we are only 1 point behind them in a title fight, dare I say. Sadly for us, QPR managed to get the win with a 74th minute goal. There is now just 3 points separating the 3 teams. 2 games left. 2 games. It's going to go down to the wire. Not looking forward to it. Game number 2 is coming right up. So I didn't realise this until now, but critically, our midweek game that we have against Salford is on a Wednesday. Reading just played on the Tuesday and won. So if we want to win the league, we do have to win our next 2 games and hope they slip up on the final day. If you were wondering who do Reading play on the final day, the answer's Watford away. Watford, currently 4th in the league. They could still do us a favour. Maybe. I hope. As for ourselves, well, I've been resting up the players. We've had a 4-day break between games. I am intending on playing the exact same starting 11 that has played the previous game for these next 2, barring any late issues, as well. We are just going to mash continue here and get to this game against Salford. You can see here, Ricky D passed his fitness test, Toby Hines ready and raring to go. Andrea Andrini, obviously more of a squad player at this point. We've not really mentioned his name this year, have we? He really was a one-season wonder. I'm a little bit concerned about Jude's recent form. He had a really, really poor game when we took on Wigan, and whilst he played okay in that last game with 1 assist, everyone got an assist. I'm going to make a controversial decision here. I'm going to bring in Callum Goldsmith. He was really kind of competing for that starting spot with Jude, but then he got that sports hernia at the end of January, and that definitely stifled his ability to get back into the team. I don't think I've given him a start maybe in the last kind of 10 matches, so if there was a time to give him a chance, I feel like now might be the one. Of course, having just said I wasn't going to change anything, that could come back to bite us. Of course, our opposition today is Salford City. They are 6th in League One. Their pre-season prediction was 6th place as well. Stockport could still catch them for a playoff spot, but it is looking very, very likely they are going to be in the playoffs. So it's not a must-win game for them. It is very much must-win for us, though. And interestingly enough, in fact, Stockport County, I've just mentioned, needing to win to keep alive their hopes. They're at home against QPR. If we win and QPR lose, we're promoted, and we still have a shot at the title on the final day. Okay, let's get into this game. Early highlight against Salford. Important to remember, if we win here and QPR don't win, we are promoted today. If we fail to win and QPR get any kind of result, in fact, even if they lose, it will go to the final day. Goldsmith, I've brought him into the team. I hope it's not going to be one of those days. I've really taken a risk, haven't I? He's missed his first chance that's come his way. We do still have a corner. We scored one of these last game. Could we score another one here? And Kise lurking, but Pears in goal for them collects. Naturally, during this game, we are going to be keeping a very, very close eye on that QPR v Stockport game. Away from home for QPR, it's not going to be simple for them, but it's the kind of game you'd probably expect them and back them to win. So far in this game, we're having a load of chances. We're not seeing any of them as highlights. 6 shots, 55% of the ball, already halfway through this half, and well, it's a very foggy night, isn't it? For some reason, the Football Manager lighting in kind of midweek games in the evening, sometimes it has this foggy vibe. I feel like I'm playing a horror game at the moment. I'm hoping it's not going to be a horror show, although with Salford on the attack, maybe we need to buckle up. Tavares, for them on this near side, is going to whip it in towards that post. It is not especially convincingly dealt with there, although we have got it away from danger just about. Timmy, back to Keeley. No nonsense from him. He launches it forward. Ferrarinson couldn't win the header, but Timmy wins the second one. And Gomer is now bringing it forward through the middle. Has options left, right, and in front of him. Can he pick out the right one? He drops it back to Timmy. Ricky D to the edge. Could he shoot from here? He bloody could. It's his 7th goal of the year. Ricky D What a man! There are just some players, aren't there, in Football Manager that just seem to excel beyond their attributes. They look very average, and yet they just turn up for you. Ricky D is very much that man for us. What a goal by the right back. Unfortunately for us, in the exact same minute that we scored, QPR also managed to muster up a goal to make it 1-0 in their game. As things stand, they would remain 2 points behind us. We'd both be 1 point behind Reading going for the title, though. Half-time in this game, 1-0. Not exactly a classic, not a whole host of chances. We've edged out possession. That moment of brilliance by Ricky D, the difference. Salford did have a couple of chances to end the half. But you know what? I'm not too upset with what I've seen there so far. Saying all of that, I am looking at the Ngoma, Goldsmith and Ferrarinson 6.5 ratings, thinking, well, maybe it's time to bring on the cavalry up front. Corner is going to be whipped in here, though. Maybe Goldsmith with a chance to make amends here as the cross went over everyone. He's going to float it in. Their keeper collects another. And the longer it remains 1-0, the more nervous I'm going to get. For as well as we're performing in this one, you know, end of season, it's all on the line. It has that nervy feel. I feel like wearing a Dortmund shirt probably isn't the smartest thing, is it, after what happened to them at the end of the season last year in real life. And Nkize's just been sent off. Nkize's just been sent off. What a game to get sent off in, you muppet. Okay, plan of attack here. I'm going to take off Guerrero. I'm not taking off Guerrero. I'm going to take off Ngoma. I'm going to leave Guerrero on the pitch. This is not good, is it? I mean, McLaughlin is going to have to come in at centre-back and do a job for us. Nkize bigged him up ahead of the previous game, saying he needed to do better. He scored last game. This is how he repays me. I am going to change our fullbacks just to be on support and our mentality to positive. I suppose at this point, it's maybe not a bad time to look to change things in the striking third. I'm going to bring in Sam Fay and also Soon Sut Bell up top. We'll save 2 subs for now. Ricky D is on a booking, and I can't afford to go down another man, but he's just too important to take off, isn't he? I'm going to trust Ricky D. There's a half an hour left to hold on at 1-0. If we get a goal, I mean, that would really help me relax a little bit because I was on edge before. Now I am very, very much on edge. Ricky D going to whip it in. It's cleared away. Our fullback still getting into advanced areas. Morgan, inside, Jude scores. The bravery to keep 2 strikers on is rewarded. How is that as a response to going a man down? I can assure you both the wing-backs are now set to support, but both getting involved in the play. It went from one wing-back to the other. Morgan got to the byline, pulled it back, and Jude just doing Jude things. I'm going to claim it's tactical genius. You know, I dropped Soon Sut Bell for Goldsmith, made him think about what he'd done, got him riled up. He has scored for us now. And well, really, this game, I don't want to say it's done just yet, but it feels like it should be done. I really should be caring more about what's going on at QPR. A third goal and all eyes will be there. Someone fetch me an iPad with a QPR game to watch in the dugout. This game feels inconsequential now. Timmy over a corner. I mean, if we could get a third, that would be nice. Gasperi heads it goalwards. It's saved away, but it's still in a dangerous area. Gasperi, Timmy, Gasperi, Faye. He's still raw. Before I had a chance to check what's going on in the QPR game following on from that famous, we've got another chance going forward. Speaking of the devil, here he is. He just skied one. He's got so much time and space. He should have scored. He didn't score, but it's fallen to Guerrero, who gets his 20th goal of the season. I'll tell you what, this performance here, the response to going a man down especially, phenomenal. What a performance by the players. Bravery and our, well, determination to continue to get the ball forward. It is 3-0 here. I'm getting ready to pause it and have a look around the grounds. I mean, we're doing our job, but QPR are also winning, and because of that, it will still go down to the final day as things stand. There is a man being treated on the pitch here, and there is a corner. I mean, we can't take the corner till he's off the pitch. Is he okay? I mean, why are we watching? Is he okay? Oh, he's... Tell you what, he's accelerated very quickly there to get off the pitch, hasn't he? Can we hurry up, please, mate? Like, you're time wasting, I assume, at this point. Tavares, you are fine. Okay, we've got a corner. I don't know what's just happened there. Football Manager match engine weirdness. You love to see it. I've been made to wait all this time. There better be a bloody good opportunity at the end of this. I swear if that there is the highlight, I'm fuming. Why am I here? Okay, 3-0 here. I haven't seen if QPR had any late drama with them. Of course, if they didn't win, we win the league. Sadly for us, They did win also. We don't win the league, we win promotion. We could still win the league, though, in the next one. It is all going to come down to the final game of the season. We are taking on Queen's Park Rangers. Reading are taking on Watford in fourth. The top four teams clash. We're not promoted yet. I really don't want to go through the playoffs. Let's get to the next game. It's only a few days away. How many days away is it? 3. Right, bloody rest the players. I'll see you in a mo. Okay, folks, it comes down to this. Rugby Town, QPR. One of those teams will be accompanying Reading in the Championship next year. Potentially both, pending the playoffs. We still have a chance at the title. But all we need to do today is avoid losing away from home against this little old team here. A team whose key player is valued at £31 million and is quite a good footballer. Just as a reminder as well, I mentioned earlier their highest earner, Evgen, £55,000 a week. £55,000 for this bloke. Look, I don't want to turn it into a phallic measuring contest. All I'm saying is Guerrero clear, and he's on £650. Is Guerrero clear? Physicals are maybe in Evgen's favour. I'll let you guys decide. I think Guerrero's the boy. Well, hopefully he is going to play to that belief I have in him. We need to get a result here. Soonsup Bell is back in the team. Mkize suspended, of course. So McLaughlin is going to come in. Once upon a time, this guy was a regular member of our first team. 33 years old. He's seen better days. He is very much in decline. Has been a squad player this year, but today he is going to step up, and alongside Gasperi, who has been phenomenal this year, it has to be said, I'm hoping going to put in a performance of the year. We don't really talk about Gasperi. 8 goals, 5 assists from centre-back. He has been sensational. What a signing this bloke's been. Unsung hero of the year. I'm going to say it now. Elsewhere in the team, we are at full strength. Ricky D on the right, Morgan on the left, Keeley in goal. Up top, Ferrarinson, I need to come into some form. We need to see his goals returning. Once upon a time, he was comfortably the top goal scorer in League One. Right now, he's only 1 point ahead of Gudjonsson in the player stats. Yeah, he really needs to step up today. Anyway, that is our team submitted for this one. I am nervous. I'm excited as well. This is the kind of game that is going to make or break things for us here at Rugby Town for this year. If we lose in this game, the playoffs, whilst you'd back us as favourites, it's always a lottery. It's not something you want to necessarily rely on for promotion. It's been a long time since we've gone into the final game of a season in a Park to Prem episode with all the marbles on the line. All the marbles very much on the line today, and there is a kick-off highlight. Football Manager, you have a sick and twisted sense of humour. Gasperi, bigged you up. Please don't mess it up now. I've really gassed him up before this game. He lays it back to Keeley, and in front of the QPR faithful, who are going to be expectant of a result here, I'm hoping we can cause that little bit of an upset. Timmy battles for the ball well and gives it to Guerrero. Ricky D back to Guerrero in the wide area. Ricky D again, the build-up play, sensational. Ricky D's dancing. There's options in the middle. Look at the players in the box. João Victor, edge of the box. And I thought for a second the Brazilian sensation was going to score his first ever Rugby Town goal at the perfect moment. His shot whistles over. But it's a good sign. We are on the front foot early on, causing QPR some issues. And we could be on the attack again here. Although Jude is caught out. And now we need to get back in possession and position. Giles lays it wide to Cannon for them. The right back on the overlap. Going forward. Morgan, highest average rating in the league. Very good going forward. Great defensively, as we've seen there. He switches it from left back to right back as Ricky D lays it forward to Ferrarinson. João Victor pulling the strings from deep, dinks it back wide. Lovely build-up play here. Can we find some end product? João Victor, he's had 1 shot from range. He's had another shot from range there. I thought it was in. I'll tell you what, we're only 7 minutes into this game. It already feels like a stressful experience. We've already had loads of highlights. I just want a nice, relaxing result. Of course, when we played QPR earlier on this year, we did beat them. I think we beat them 1-0, and it was a really weird game and not a lot happened. This game has started differently, although as this half is going on, the timer continues to tick up. QPR now with a set piece that Keeley has to cling on to, and that is their first shot on the game, I do believe. They've had 55% of the ball, the home side, though. They're a team that are going to have possession, and well, we need to catch them out on the break potentially. Ferrarinson, for a moment, I thought was going to catch them out. Instead, though, a big tackle put in. But we are back with the ball. Guerrero trying to get it back to Ferrarinson. 1-on-1. Hits both posts and is cleared off the line. Have you ever seen anything like it? I can't believe it. I thought he'd scored. I was stood there just waiting for the ball to hit the back of the net. We've got a set piece here now. João Victor, Gasperi and Timmy are just unmarked here. Surely you go short. I'll shut up. I was about to say surely you go short. João Victor, that's a bloody good time to score your first ever goal at the club, and I believe his first ever senior goal. He came from Brazil in January. We don't have a good free kick taker, so we've just been sticking them on them. And he's just dug that out of his locker. Okay then. You know what? That is A-okay with me. We're a goal up here. Bajskov, going to lay it wide to Svedberg. Skarls now with the ball. Going to play it to Barmer. Bajstov. Barmer. I don't like this. I don't want to see an immediate response. That's the last thing I need in this game here. Masengo cutting it inside. Lays it to Evjen, who's going to now lay it to Cannon at right back. Bringing it forward. QPR looking for the immediate response. And Wilmot Svedberg, the man who I mentioned pre-game, he's only bloody gone and done it. QPR do have some very, very capable players in the wide areas. They've got some big men to aim for in the middle. We knew this was a risk, and the ball, well, it came in here, and Ricky D just caught flat-footed. It's 1-1. Just as a reminder, a draw is enough for us. In fact, a draw, as things stand right now, will keep us in second. Reading are only drawing themselves against Watford. If Reading lose and we draw, we win the league. But really, we'd like to win this game here. Good to tell the players I'm far from pleased with what I've just seen. I'm looking at Ferrarington on a 6.4 thinking, mate, you are not doing good enough here. Sam Fay, I feel like it's his time to shine. This guy's been improving more and more as the season's gone on. He actually looks like a proper footballer now. I'm bringing in the 16-year-old for probably his biggest game of his career so far. I know some people will think I'm just being unfair there on Ferrarington. Genuinely, I don't know what's happened to him in the second half of the year. He keeps asking for wage rises as well, which I'm not willing to give him. He should get an ESC kind of exemption due to the number of games he's played in the summer, which would allow us to sign another foreign player in his place. But to be honest, if the right bid came in, given his recent form, I might be willing to get rid of him because we've got strikers that can score, like Jude Soonsup-Bell. 30 seconds into the half, it is 2-1. McLaughlin at centre-back, laying it forward to Timmy. Guerrero, the number 10, sees the pass, pulls off the pass, and Soonsup-Bell spanks it into the top bins to make it 2-1. Reading are still 1-1 in their game, so if things stay like this, we would win the league. I don't want to say it too loudly. We could win the league, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like there's a few more twists and turns yet, though, in this game. If we could get that extra goal, it would leave QPR with a mountain to climb. They need to win this game, as a reminder. At 3-1, they would require 3 goals without response. And right now, we are looking like a team in the ascendancy. As I thought Ricky D was going to add another assist. I thought Guerrero was going to add another goal. It's been blocked. It's out for a corner. Timmy is the man over it on that far side in front of all the home fans. Can he put it on a plate? No, he can put it on a plate, but for the wrong table. He's put it on a plate for QPR's defenders to deal with. Right, I'm going to make some more changes in this game. Right now, not loving our centre-backs, if I'm being honest, but I don't really have good options to bring on. I'm going to bring in Masters to play as a deep-line playmaker. Timmy's been a bit quiet in this one. In the final third, I'm looking at Ngoma thinking, you could be doing better. I'm going to shuffle the deck slightly. Soonsup-Bell's going to play on the right. Goldsmith is going to come on to play as the left-footed striking option. Behind them, Faye is now going to drop back to play that Ngoma role as the shadow striker, kind of advanced attacking midfielder. I'll name every role. We'll get there eventually. It's not a shadow striker. It is an attacking midfielder he plays as. And I think I'm going to leave it there. I feel like the nerves are getting to me. Can you tell? 25 minutes left in this game. QPR have done very, very little in this game. That kind of terrifies me slightly. They're having more of the ball, but not really creating enough with it. Speaking of which, they're going to look to play it out from the back here. Cannon has already shown his ability to get forward at right back. He's going to skip past his man. He's hacked down, but Swedberg is going to keep the attack alive. Whips it into Giles, whose shot goes just wide. I was waiting for the linesman's flag to be raised to give offside. That man was not offside. That would have counted. QPR have a corner, ladies and gentlemen. Daly is the man over it. He is going to whip it into the near post. They've hit the post. They've hit the post. We've cleared it. Everything's fine. I'm calm. I'm not. I'm really, really not. I did see the comments of yesterday's video saying, Jack, we'd love to see you struggle. I'd love to see you stuck in League One. Let me tell you now, even if we don't get stuck in League One, and I would back us if we bottle this to win the playoffs, but even if we were to bottle it, I'd back us to win the playoffs. And next year, the championship is going to be so difficult with our current kind of structure if we do go up. On the one hand, I don't really feel like we're ready to be promoted to the championship. On the other hand, performances suggest otherwise. And if we're not promoted, from a financial point of view, we're probably going to be screwed. So we really need to go up here. We've had a few chances in this game to get the third goal. We've not taken them. And now QPR are on the attack. There is still 4 minutes left here. I don't want people to think I've been counting my chickens before they hatch and talking about this promotion and what there is to come next year. We have a task at hand. We just need to avoid defeat. Ricky D gets tackled by Moore. If they get 1 goal back, QPR will have their home fans screaming and shouting behind them, rallying them forward, knowing that they have nothing to lose. Giles has the ball for them here. There are plenty of players surging forward in the middle. Back post is Swedberg. He has 1. He has 2, and it's 2-2 with 4 minutes left. Queen's Park Rangers thrown a lifeline. They need 1 goal now. And I hate to do this. I think I've got to go defensive, haven't I? I think I've got to just park the bus for what remains. I mean, the thing is, if I do this now and then we go on to bottle it, people will say, Jack, what were you doing? But I feel like if I don't do it, I will just regret it forever. I'm going to play Guerrero as a winger on support. Faye just plays an attacking midfielder on support. Drop back if you need to. Let's lower the tempo, up the time wasting. No longer looking for the overlap or passing into space. Out possession. We'll keep the pressing game going, but we don't need to stop their goalkeeper getting it short. And I'm just going to switch to positive. We don't need to gamble men forward. Morgan looking kind of tired at the back. Do I want to change things up? I'm going to bring in Andreini, I think, and move Luigi to left back just to try and see out this game. We've got tired legs across the pitch. It's been a long old season. 4 minutes to hold on. It's going to be fine, I hope. I mean, the big question now is how much added time is there going to be? There is going to be 5 minutes. QPR rolling the dice, throwing men forward. It's not going to be enough, though. We are going to hold on. Wait, did Reading not win? Wait, did Reading lose? I think we've just won League One, and I didn't realise that that was a thing. I forgot to check. I was so preoccupied with just making sure we didn't lose. Have we won the league, or is this a second place trophy? I think we've won the league. We've accidentally won the league without realising it. I mean, what is happening? We've won the league. We've won the... Hoist the trophy, lads. Enjoy it, celebrate it. I hate the fact it's red confetti. Why can't it be Rugby Town blue? Also, where's the confetti falling from? Answers on a postcard, loads of questions. The QPR fans are fuming. Congrats, everyone. Results elsewhere mean we're champions. You're telling me. What happened in the Reading game? What happened to Reading? They lost 3-2. Wow. Shout out to Watford, I guess. Sadly for QPR, they are going to finish up third place, but on 98 points. That is a phenomenal achievement. Not often you see 2 teams break 100 points in a league season. I feel like that's a testament to how good ourselves and Reading have been. Not the most convincing way to get things done, but we have got them done, and with that, budgets have been set for the upcoming year. The transfer budget is set at £10 million, with the wage budget set at £67,000. I feel like our transfer budget's been set at £10 million forever, and yet it really shouldn't be that high given our balance. I don't know what to make of it. Rugby Town Crown Champions, the least orthodox way to ever be crown champions. You're trying to desperately defend to avoid finishing third, and you win the league somehow. £25,000 isn't going to solve a load of problems for us, but it's some money, I suppose. And with that, Season 7 comes to a close. That was not as calm as it should have been. Like I mentioned earlier, I know there were some people desperately hoping we'd bottle it to end the year and that it would go to the playoffs and maybe we'd bottle it again. I know that when we get promoted like we have in successive years, maybe it starts to feel a bit formulaic. I feel like this year has felt different. The championship. I mean, that's going to be a very, very, very different proposition. This summer's going to be important. So originally I did just record an outro and end the episode after that last bit, but then I thought, you know what, let's keep hitting continue. Let's get all the end of season stuff done today so that the transfer special next time out can just be all transfers. It's the 4th of May. We have got our first few updates. The hardcore fans are dropping. The social media fans are rising. And there's no one on the season ticket waiting list. You can see here the supporter cultures. Don't really talk about these that much. They're quite needy, aren't they, our supporters? Aim for next year, in their view, avoid relegation from the Championship. As for the board, very much the same. They want us to avoid relegation from the Championship. That is the aim for the foreseeable future. And in terms of the board culture stuff elsewhere, don't think it's changed too much. I'm going to talk to the players here. I'm going to tell them that we can stay up. We can do it. We're going into next season. I think we're in a good position to avoid relegation. They all stood up and clapped. Things we love to see. Okay, the squad is now on a break till the 24th of June. Where are we going on our training camp? We can go to Scotland or the West Midlands. You know what? I'm feeling exotic. Scotland it is. Now, the next bit of the end of season wrap-up, I think, won't come until after the playoffs. I have noticed here, Aronson fell behind Gudjonsson on the final day in the top goal scorer charts. Yeah, that really does sum up this guy's season. He started off so hot. He's now unhappy and wants a new contract. If anyone wants to bid £2 to £3 million, I will be all ears. Anyway, I'm going to mash continue. We'll get to the bit where we can see our transfers, see the fans player of the year, all that stuff. I'm going to run through the squad as well, plans for next year. Don't go anywhere. Only me. I hit continue once and now I'm back immediately. The board have announced that we've got to modify the capacity of the stadium to add seats. Yeah, we're currently below the minimum number of seats you need in the championship. So we're spending £159,000 to install 1,000 of them. That's fun. Oh, and also in some other news, our youth category has gone from Cat 3 to Cat 2. I would love to push on and get Cat 1. Can we ask for Cat 1 immediately? I've asked for it. Hopefully they give me it. And if you're unsure what I mean by categories, essentially youth setups in England are graded. I don't know if it's a global scale or it's based on an FA's kind of thing. Either way, Category 1 is the highest you can be. That's what I'd like to get it up to. I wanted to get it up to that. The board, less sure. Look, it's going to be really important. How about youngsters fulfill their potential? I urge you to reconsider. Come on, the fans are behind me. The lack of ambition is disappointing. Please, after all I've done for this club. Okay, well, we'll ask for it later. Brian, I miss old Brian. I miss previous chairman Brian. He was much more giving. I'm sorry, Lincoln City fans. QPR beat you in the final. It wasn't even close. 4-0 at Wembley. I'd like to believe that we would have replicated this achievement, but yeah, not a good day for the Imps. To be fair, 4-0 kind of flatters QPR, but I'm not surprised they're going up with us. As a result of our League One appearance, you can see here we receive a sum of £725,000, which is really, really nice. And on top of that, some extra good news. Our under-21s won the under-21 PDL Division 3. That is the third tier of youth football. We are going to be climbing on up. But yeah, nice to win this. Slightly less nice news. Skidmore got injured in the final against Burnley, which our youth team won 4-1. What did it cost us? Well, this guy's legs, yeah, he's out for 4 to 6 months. And with the League One season confirmed, you can see here we confirm a record high position for Rugby Town. Unsurprising that. 100 points is a record high team for a team qualifying for the League One playoffs. But we didn't qualify for the playoffs, we won. I'm not going to question Football Manager's logic. Ryan Morgan set the record for the highest average rating in League One. That is absolutely mad that he managed to achieve that. And I did notice here as well, Ricky D created a record with 20 assists. The previous record sat at 18. Ryan Morgan, our left back, won Player of the Year. That's mental, isn't it? This guy wasn't even going to be my starting left back at the start of the year. £11,000, I think it's safe to say, well spent. I won Manager of the Year, which is always nice, and Ferrarison bottled the golden boot. He ended up finishing second. Here is the League One Dream 11 as well. You can see here Morgan, Gasperi and Ricky D. 3 members of the back 4 are defenders. Ferrarison did sneak in as one of the attackers. QPR, yeah, unsurprisingly present. Kind of odd that Reading only had 1 player in the entirety of the media kind of team of the year. That man, Franjic, who is, well, he's pretty blooming good. We should get the end of season meeting review thing at some point soon, I hope. Contract extensions have just kicked in for a whole host of players, including Soonsup Bell, Andreni, Sean Nesbitt, and Toby Hines, now contracted to 2036. We have this 19-year-old on a 6-year deal. I'd like to apologise to the fans of our football club. Ticket prices will be rising with us in the championship. I hope they understand. You can see here our stats for the season. Some of these are kind of crazy. Just goal scoring wise and attacking wise, we were mad. That was against second highest. Expected goals against, actually the 4th lowest. We didn't have the best defence in the league, but when you score as many goals as we did, defence doesn't really matter. Apparently Ngoma is being linked with a move to Wrexham worth £12 million, and Guerrero's been linked with a move to Troyes, or Troyes? Troyes sounds better, doesn't it? For £2.4 million. Guerrero's going to cost whoever wants him a lot more than that. As for Ngoma, well, he's contracted for the next 4 years. So if anyone wants him, I want the big bucks. I need the big bucks as well. He is very important to us. 19 goal contributions this year. Not necessarily irreplaceable, but not really someone I plan on losing. Oh, and you'll love this. I've got another Senegalese player I've just agreed to sign. Mamadou Dia for £180,000. This guy is just a bit of a punt of a centre-back. I know he's super inconsistent, but of course we've got 2 young Senegalese players joining that we signed in January. I thought they might need a friend. Just as a little bit of a reminder of those 2 Senegalese players, the first also plays for Generation Foot. It is Moussa Ndiaye. This guy looks like he could be an absolutely immense left-back. He will join us on his 18th birthday at the end of July. And another man joining us in July is Kamara. This guy comes to us a couple weeks earlier because his birthday's 2 weeks before. 17-year-old here, doesn't have a work permit yet. When he joins us, I'm going to apply for one and hope he gets it. His current ability and potential ability look very, very good. You can tell I'm planning for the summer already because we've got a whole host of scout reports coming in for players all around the world. Yes, you might be able to tell here. I was looking at the Chinese national team. All their players are bad. At this point, I'm hitting continue, hoping the thing's going to come up, but maybe it's just not going to come up. Should we just do our own end of season review if nothing happens? I mean, it's that or the episode goes on forever, which, that doesn't seem optimal. Okay, finally this popped up. I was worried it wasn't going to show up, but we have got it right at the end of May. The end of season review. Look at that League One trophy. Did not think we'd be lifting that going into the final game of the season. In terms of signings, not a whole host of new players, of course, for this year, but those that we did sign did make meaningful contributions for the most part. Ferrarinson picked up signing of the year with that 7.48 rating, not entirely surprising. Maybe a little bit surprised that Ryan Morgan, who won the League One Player of the Year, didn't pip in ahead of him, but those 2 players between them were phenomenal. Gasperi as well really slipped into the team and held down a spot. Wasn't sure how he was going to get on. We kind of brought him in and I thought, on paper he looks good enough to be a regular starter, but will he actually do it on the pitch? Well, the answer was, we played him, we never looked back. He was a lock-in for the vast majority of the season. On the flip side of things, a less successful signing, Ahol Chuddy. 4 starts in League One, to be fair. I did give him games here and there, but ultimately, we signed him as a bit of a punt on a free transfer. Let's be real, he's not a League One quality player. Of course, the 2 more expensive signings we picked up this year were Toby Hines, the 19-year-old, a club record fee for him, and on top of him, Victor signed for 375k. 2 players who didn't have the craziest average ratings by any means, but they are both 19 years old. Hard to get up to speed joining midway through the year. I think with a proper pre-season, a bit more time to get settled in, they're going to come good in the future. 2 players with mad potential. We've got to try and help them reach it. Moment to remember was the 5-1 win over Mansfield Town. Biggest win, 8-0 against Hastings, although we did have a fair few 7-0s this year. Didn't go on a crazy FA Cup run like in previous years. The competition prize money a tad lower than previously, but across the board elsewhere, we are making more money, and the jump from League One to Championship is a fairly substantial one financially, not just in terms of competition with the teams we'll be going up against, but in terms of the money we receive too. On top of that, I've just spotted here, our reputation's gone up to 2 stars. Give that a big thumbs up. Find it somewhat funny that Fans Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year, signing of the year, everything went to Ferrarinson, and I'm discussing the possibility of selling him. I mean, he's unhappy at the moment, and he's only got 1 year left on his current deal. If I was going to cash in on him, I feel like getting £2 million for a guy who gives us like 1 solid year of service. That's kind of fine. I'm okay with that. I don't know if that's a controversial take. I feel like he did a job for us, but he did slow down the second half of the year, and I have to question, is that a bit of foreshadowing? Can I really expect him to be as amazing as he was for the first half of the year with us being promoted? I have some question marks over if this guy's championship quality. Here was the Media Dream 11 for the season just gone, but most importantly, here is a little look at the overall best 11 here at Rugby Town FC. Of course, the likes of Keeley, McLaughlin, Cartwright, Ricky D still at the club, Timmy at the club as well. Slate is still playing over at Swansea City at left back. Of course, Gucci we released last year. He's still a free agent. He's not found a club in a year. Maybe he'll find someone. Elsewhere, Mars Maycock has 1 year left on his contract at Salford. I've kept half an eye on this guy. Of course, he was our first top quality young player. A player who's barely broken into the Salford team, playing, infrequently in League One. Not a bad player, but the kind of player I look at now and realise, man, you were so good for us back in the day, and now you wouldn't get anywhere near our first team. It gives you a bit of an appreciation for the progress we've made. Striking-wise as well, Callum Gillan and McAvoy in the striking department. Gillan retired at the age of 25. McAvoy here, you can see, still playing. He's playing for Kerry over in Ireland. Not quite as a reliable goal scorer as he was once upon a time for us. In fact, these ratings here, since he's returned to Ireland, frankly tragic. And I suppose that sets us up nicely going into the summer transfer window. A transfer window where I feel like we do have to strengthen the team, but also, if we are going to strengthen it, it's going to involve moving players on. And one thing that I've noticed with our reputation rising, with our standing within football, the division we're playing in rising, players' values are going up and up and up. Of course, we are burning through money very, very quickly. And in spite of the fact we will get TV money in the Championship, we probably need to sell a player or two to balance the books. The question becomes, who am I willing to sell? Who could I sell? We have got a few players who were out on loan last year who have since going out on loan, picked up work permits. Sergio is a great example of that. Valued at £5 to £6.4 million at the age of 21. Would it be silly to cash in on him? Another player who's been out on loan last year who I think will be nearer the first team next year is Zenha. He has picked up a work permit whilst playing over in Poland. Out for 2 to 4 weeks. The kind of player who I think could do an okay job for us. Maybe falls into a similar category to someone like Jaeger. I'd argue he's slightly better than Jaeger, I suppose. But these two players may be okay backup options, but if the right bids came in, maybe I'd look to get rid of them. I mean, when you look at the two players here, maybe it wouldn't be the worst idea to maybe look for a loan for Jaeger, because Zenha having a work permit means he can probably do a job for us in the first team. When you look at the star ratings, not entirely surprising to see Guerrero head and shoulders above the rest. He is so good for us. I feel like he and Ngoma are two players I just want to build around. They've been two massively important components to our attacking midfield setup. Striking-wise, of course, Soonsup Bell has been a reliable goal scorer for us. Ferrarinson as well, but we still have Goldsmith in our ranks, who we were considering cashing in on, but then the bids didn't really come in. His guide value has dropped slightly. Of course, Sam Fay, I look at and think, maybe not quite ready for a championship football, but not a million miles away, to be honest. This guy could be a really dependable striker. And if I do want to make first team opportunities for him, and also Espinoza, who continues to improve every time I look at him, maybe moving on one of Ferrarinson, Goldsmith, and Soonsup Bell is going to be necessary. I have already started demoting some players who were in the senior team down just to kind of get them out of the way. I say players, it's one player. Mike McCarthy, the backup goalkeeper we signed this year, he's not eligible for a work permit. So not going to be renewing his contract. I don't want him using an ESC slot. Speaking of which, in the Championship, we get 2 more slots, if I'm not mistaken. So with that in mind, we can bring in foreign players without work permits next year. And by next year, I mean next transfer window, which is what we're going to be doing next time. When it comes to first team contracts, the vast majority of our players are contracted beyond the end of this current season. There is 4 players with contracts expiring next year. A few of them are fairly important first team players. One of them, Ryan Morgan, in fact, our left back, has already agreed to sign a new deal that is going to kick in at the end of the season. That was a deal that was actually negotiated a little while ago. I imagine if I wanted to renew it now, he'd be asking for a bit more off the back of the season he's just had. Either way, this preliminary first team for the coming season sits at 28 players. That definitely needs to be trimmed down a little bit. And I am definitely conscious of the fact we might need to bring some new players in to strengthen it with us going up to the Championship. We have got some really good potential, which is always exciting. Some really high transfer value players. I think this might be the first time going into a summer transfer window where I feel confident about doing some wheeling and dealing, getting some money to maybe spend big on a player or two. That's a little bit exciting. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Slightly longer one with the end of season wrap-up and us doing 3 matches today, but I feel like it sets us up nicely for tomorrow's episode, which will be a transfer special. It goes without saying, if you have got to the end of this video, enjoyed what you've watched, do go down below and leave a like on the video. Videos like this, to do them every single weekday, take a lot of time. The editing is not a simple job by any means. I greatly appreciate the support. Thank you for tuning in daily. I appreciate it, especially with these longer episodes. It's not a small commitment to get to the end of the video. Respect to you, my friend. Besides all of that, take it easy. It is me, Jack. Tomorrow's a big one. I'll see you for it. I'm out.